So friggin' bad. I think that was like the worst attempt at a Van Halen song ever, Rob. What do you think?
Yeah, it was.
Pretty horrific.
Congratulations, right? You know.
Well, it was.
I broke the record.
You went for it. You know.
You went for it.
No fear. No fear.
That's right. You got it. You know, at least you tried. You're in the arena with your guitar.
I am sure there's worse. I'm sure there's worse.
And for anyone who couldn't recognize what that was, which I think it was most of you out there, that was Beautiful Girls.
Beautiful Girls.
By Van Halen.
Ooh la la.
A song from a different time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know, had you done it right, I was going to try to do my best Diamond Dave and like do the midair splits and stuff on stage, you know?
Yeah. That, you know what? He doesn't even do that now.
Not anymore. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, age catches up with all of us.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
Did any of you guys ever see Van Halen back in the 80s when they were just awesome? You know, man.
Well, I never went to the concert, but I mean, I grew up listening to them, but I thought that they were devil's music. So
that's what your parents told you.
Yeah. Well,
that's what Tipper Gore told you. Burn all your records.
Yeah, all your Van Halen records.
Get rid of that Judas Priest album and Dokken and whatever, all those death metal things.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah, burn those records. Yeah. You know, I think, you know, totally unrelated to IoT or tech, but I think about we've talked about this before, how we see Sammy Hagar from time to time kind of bashing David Lee Roth. I've seen that in the last 6 months or whatever. Or he's like, the guy can't even sing, and you know, he wasn't as good as I was or whatever. And it's like, you know what? They had the right thing. You know, he had the voice, he had the right voice. You know, is he going to win a singing competition? I don't know. But for what they pulled together, you know, because, you know, the performance, the stage, and the swagger of David, you know, and then people go, oh crap, who is this guy playing guitar?
Yeah.
You know, no, because a lot of people got reeled in because it's a show. I mean, David Lee Roth is an entertainer, which is what you really need, I think. You know,
you do.
And then you go, who's this guy? Who's this Eddie Van Halen guy?
Yeah. But you know. Yeah, but you know what made them so different was the variety of styles that they infused in their music. I don't think people realize that. And one of the things that makes Van Halen different is everyone talks about this. It's the swing, right? And that's old school music vibe, right? And so if you listen to a lot of the glam stuff and early music in that day, it was kind of stiff, right? So if you listen to Rat, you listen to all these other guys, Dokken, what have you, it's like pretty straight beat stuff. There isn't really that swing element to it. But then also there isn't that variety of stylistic flavors. And that's what made Eddie different. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know, despite all these other gunslingers that have come into, you know, vogue over the years, Eddie Van Halen always sticks out just because those early albums is like, holy crap. And it's a very nuanced thing that's actually, it translates into some big stuff, even to, you know, like unsophisticated ears, right? It's just awesome stuff. And
you've got some microphone issues, Leonard. You're coming
I
in
do?
and out. You come in and out a little bit. Little chop. You know, 80s, you're right. There was that metal hair band stuff that you're basically bashing and saying they just did the same songs over and over again.
Like straight blues.
But then if I think about the hard rock that was really awesome in the 80s, aside from Van Halen, you have AC/DC, which Back in Black I still think is ranked number 2 or number 3 best-selling albums of all time.
Yeah.
And then the late 80s, you got Guns N' Roses, which kind of blew people away, and they didn't see that coming, And as I've belabored this, if Guns N' Roses hadn't collapsed in the early 90s, they could have maybe fended off the rise of grunge.
Yeah.
Because Guns N' Roses kept the 80s rock alive in the early 90s, and then they just fizzled, right?
Yeah.
I think Pearl Jam was inevitable.
Yeah. No, and maybe Axl Rose, as they were collapsing, he kind of passed the baton to Eddie Vedder or something.
Like Guns N' Roses is kind of you light the match and then it burns and that's the end of it.
You did light the match, and
you lit the match on both ends.
And Pete, you're a little quiet.
Oh, I am.
Just a slight.
Really,
you might need a little more gain. A little more gain.
Hold on.
Yes,
it is never quiet. Yeah. You always have a booming voice. Yeah.
Booming.
Hey,
of course, I have friends. I have friends who say, "Oh, you thought that this whole grunge thing just happened in '91 or '92 or whatever," and it's like I was listening to Soundgarden in the '80s, and they were a rock band in the '80s.
True.
The second half, late '80s. Before.
Yeah. Well,
and I think of all of the singers in grunge, I think Chris Cornell had the best voice.
Yeah,
he could hit those crazy high notes. Chris Cornell's voice was amazing.
Definitely super talented. Is my microphone a little better?
It's a little better. Hearing some buzz now.
Oh, the buzz is gone.
Now the buzz is gone.
Okay. Is that better? Test one.
No, the buzz is when you talk.
When you talk, the buzz comes. Yeah.
You have like a friggin'...
Well, you have a road. Usually
more in the background. It's like...
some weird thing going on.
So, yeah, no, that's fine.
That's fine.
I'll just talk into it like this.
All right.
All right.
Hey, everyone, remember to take it seriously at your own peril. And we're here to have fun. And also, we have an exciting new charity. It's actually not new. It's more of a restructuring and repurposing of Elevate Our Kids toward Elevate Communities. And I'm really excited about this. Rob, you and I, we have to have our inaugural planning meeting. I think there's some really crazy stuff that we can do here. And the great thing about it is that we can bring a lot of technical expertise that we have on IoT Coffee Talk every day or every week to bring to bear to help communities. And you guys did a great job, by the way, in last week's episode and just kind of brainstorming and outlining some terrific stuff. So I'm going to have to go and listen back on it and
flying pizzas.
Notes. Dimitri, you had some great thoughts. So
Dimitri really showed up last week.
Yeah. So
I've been working on disaster preparedness for quite a while now. So I've started yesterday. Tuesday we had our training session for the new batch of class 67 in Sunnyvale, and I started to share some of the Mesh-tastic or Mesh Networks idea with some of the radio guys. And being ham radio guys, I said, but it will take some time.
Right.
Yeah, I have all of those little things.
I love those little things. We love the little things. Absolutely.
Is that what we're going to call ourselves now? Ham radio coffee talk?
Oh, no. Yeah.
Old school.
We all need gray hair. No, I'm sorry. I'm an ham radio operator myself, but it's a weird community.
Yes.
Well, they're still relevant. I mean, geez.
Oh, totally.
Radios, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the news, there was news about Microsoft and a giant AI data center in Wisconsin this week. Satya put out something, or Scott Gu put out something yesterday, and we can't hear you, Pete. I see your mouth's moving, and you're not on mute, but you're muted somehow.
All right, manual override.
Manual override. Still quiet, but manual override. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so what it looks like is Scott Guthrie put out something, and there's been some news about this. Some counter news was it looks like, does anyone remember how Foxconn was going to build a factory?
Yeah, in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Microsoft basically just took over that factory and they're expanding, and that's going to be a new AI data center. And they're saying it'll be the biggest AI data center in the world, which I'm sure that will make Elon unhappy, because he probably thought his Colossus was the biggest, It's like, I've got 100,000 Nvidia GPUs. And Microsoft's like, I'll raise you. But also part of this, is it fair to say that we're starting to see kind of the separation from Microsoft and their AI aspirations from OpenAI? Because they've always been joined at the hip. That's been a twofer.
Yeah.
And so, which I think Microsoft needs to do. Microsoft got a lot of love and a lot of bang for the buck in their stock price, riding the AI wave, riding basically on OpenAI's back. But they provided the compute that OpenAI needed. And now things are just getting so much exponentially bigger, starting with Stargate earlier today. So I think this is a big deal. I think also Microsoft announced like something in Norway as well. So
they're doubling down on their infrastructure. It's only going to use 2.8 million gallons a year in Wisconsin. So it's no big deal. Whatever.
Yeah, and I think that was the other deal there is water.
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 Wow.
Agua.
Never mind the electricity. I mean, what percentage of Wisconsin's electricity is going to be used for that data center?
Forget it, dude.
Water. Progress. Don't get in the way.
Like everybody, big so-called gold rush. The people who make money are not the one that are going to use AI, but the people who are selling water and electricity are going to.
Well, I think it's funny, because these are every data center is touted as carbon neutral and all these other things. And, the way you do that is you basically buy carbon offsets. You spend money in other areas. It's sort of like buying like $1,000 sweater and getting $200 off and coming home and saying, I saved $200. It's like, no, you spent $800 on a sweater. That's what you actually did.
That's what you did.
You didn't save $200. So whenever we see carbon neutral, or it was the other day, Meta had a thing about how they're using only 1 million gallons of water. It could have been a lot more, but it's only 1 million.
This is one of Tesla's secret so-called revenue or profitability is selling the carbon credits.
There you go. Yeah, so that's a lot of water usage. And then was there some lawsuits did we read about, like people in the town nearby there in Wisconsin, like going, I would like to have a glass of water tomorrow, but it turns out I won't get one, and so we're going to sue you. That they grabbed the Foxconn factory, which is a great jump start. I remember the hubbub thinking Foxconn was going to come to America and all that magic was going to happen.
That whole thing, the ribbon cutting, it's fantastic.
Yeah, totally. I remember that. And
there was some big numbers attached to that too.
Yeah, there was.
That was like a gazillion dollar investment.
Yes, exactly. It's like much love.
Bajillion, I think it was.
A bajillion, yeah.
Bajillion.
Exactly.
Not gajillion, bajillion.
Bajillion. I stand corrected.
Is Jillian or less than a gajillion?
By the way, the other thing about data centers, I've been doing some more research here because I'm giving this talk at the Things Conference next week called How Edge AI Will Save the World. Yeah. And part of it is, maybe it's hyperbole, but I don't know what's going to save the world.
That's how you get people to come to your session.
Yeah, exactly. It's clickbait.
Yeah.
But, the noise level on data centers typically hovers around 90 dB. Can be up to 96 dB.
Wow.
And that is freaking loud,
Wow.
If anyone has an Apple Watch, if you go over 90 dB, because I crank my stereo in my car, I always get the notification like it's too loud.
On the watch.
Too loud, you're going deaf.
But sustained 96 dB plus.
Yes.
Freaking loud. So there's noise, there's water, there's power. This is...
I think we talked about this maybe a few weeks ago because there was something on the news, or it may have been Sunday morning show or whatever, and the reporter was, I think, in Tennessee outside of Elon's place, and they had special built all these natural gas giant, transformer generator things. And you're right, they were walking around, it was like, whoosh, because you know how loud it is in the side of the data center if you spend any time there, all the fans
crazy.
And everything. Yeah, and so. Neighbors were complaining because the sound never stops.
It's 24/7.
Yeah. So I had an interesting. I was in Alexandria, Virginia, the last 2 days with Hitachi Vantara. And what's interesting, a tie-in to this is they hired and brought in a VP. It was a guy who used to run a big P&L for Equinix. And Equinix is the world's largest data center provider. Yeah. And he was kind of talking about something we've all heard, they're like, the bottleneck isn't how many GPUs Jensen can make. It truly is electricity. And he was really specific about it. He was talking about not enough transformers, not enough base station. He got really detailed, and because he talked about, he goes, you think that all the stuff to talk about with a data center is walking through there and seeing racks of servers, and he's like, no, it's not. It's what's happening underground and all that. And he went into great detail what it takes to build and operate one of those things.
Yeah, and part of it is taking a dependency on the public grid. That's the real issue. So now data centers are being built next to power plants behind the meter, so they don't have to take reliance, or they'll be self-powered with these small nuclear. I'm sure we'll see small nuclear self-powered data centers because they don't want to take a dependency on the public grid, which is good. And in one sense, might free up the public grid for the public to actually keep the lights on.
That's kind of like an edge computing story. Edge computing frees up the rest of the big network.
That's true.
Right? Yeah. We do that stuff locally close.
By the way, here's my news.
Wow.
Nice.
It has that look like from the Old West, like if we were around
like
a campfire. It's a camp mug. One day we're gonna have a
campfire
IoT
session.
Coffee Talk camping trip. And we'll be using those kind of mugs around the fire while we
There you go. I'll bring the mugs. We bring the marshmallows.
We'll camp by the lake just close to the nuclear power plant at the data center.
Next to the data center.
Yes. And we will drink water.
We'll be like, what? What did you say? What? I can't hear you. The data center is at 96 dB.
Isn't it funny how, I don't want to say just like this, but people's attitudes and viewpoints on nuclear power has definitely changed dramatically in the last few years.
Yes.
Or maybe it's just us in the tech bubble that it's changed and the average person still freaked out by it.
But I don't want to name names, but I know, I work with a lot of folks in this space who are in the data center business too. And they are saying like, they will run these AI workloads on the cleanest energy they can find. But if they can't find clean energy, they will run it on coal. They'll run it on whale oil if they have to. I mean, they will not stop running these AI workloads in the data center.
Restaurant grease,
whale oil, whatever they can get their hands on.
Wait, we should use but now we have so many great AI tools, VO or 3 or whatever, we can make short videos. We should make one where Sam Altman is on a ship and firing a harpoon at a whale. That's right. And then they get the whale oil and then they pump it in to spin turbines.
The new energy paradigm. We're going back to whale oil.
Whale killing is not very popular, but the reality is that most of the issues with nuclear was the ecologists and the lobbying they had in the 80s. That was actually specifically true in France, and I've always been very upset about that. Dimitri, I keep on saying that I've been looking for a smart ecologist for 45 years, still haven't found one. So,
they had shut down dozens of nuclear projects.
Not that many. We're not as bad as the Germans, but and it's a big. They still, I think, at least
France is still the
60
leader.
Or 70. Yeah? I think 60 or 70% is still nuclear in France.
Yeah, France. But, nobody uses more nuclear.
The drama is we stopped investing.
Yeah.
France was very advanced, and we've stopped investing to a point that the power plant are now like 40, 50 years old, and we can't even find people to solder them, to do the welding, to fix some of the things, because it's a very specific techniques, and those guys are all they died, and we didn't train new ones because we were not building new power plants. So a whole industry that was very advanced in France completely collapsed just because of a bunch of freaking idiots, which is...
Well, the next thing after the nuclear power plants is the nuclear power plants. So that's
But in fairness, I think there were recent news about the CERN in Europe that actually achieved a very long fusion experiment. So because that's the next, ultimately, hopefully, wave of technology, because fusion, once we can control it, then it's unlimited power without any risk. So, well, without any
Unlimited power.
waste.
Meanwhile, Dimitri's like, I'm surrounded by freaking idiots in France. Why don't we have new people who know how to do nukes?
Why do you think I moved? But by the way, there's plenty of idiots here too. So.
Yeah, we got plenty of idiots. Just find any street corner. But like France exports electricity from their nuke powers to Italy and other surrounding countries.
Yeah, not as much, because again the power plants are aging, and now it's the consumption is more. But yeah, it used to be. I mean, that was on the vision in the 60s, 70s with de Gaulle, where France wanted to be independent. But things have changed.
Wow. Well, maybe they'll unchanged. Who knows? You know, or as Michael Jackson would say, make that change.
Yeah, you know, it's curious why we do this, because it's almost like, okay, we create these collection of crises for what? You know what I'm saying? Does AI really make life that much better? You know what I'm saying? I mean, no. I mean, think about it. It's like it's a water crisis, an energy crisis. It's all, you know, it's all contrived stuff, and for AI.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a story of innovation. I mean, in the beginning of new technologies, people are always, there's a lot of problems, and people always see the positives, the negatives. You don't know. You have to look over time. I'm pretty sure that when electricity started to spread, people would say, "Oh, this is a thing. You can get electrocuted. And why do we need that? We have coal."
Well, they had legitimate concerns until they could. They could kill people from being shocked to death.
Yeah, but that's my point. That's my point, because the technology was not very well, controlled.
Right. And we're still in the steam age of AI. It's the steam age. It's like big locomotives or shoveling coal. Like, it kind of works, but it's smelly and huge and inefficient. And we need to get to orders of magnitude more efficiency with AI.
That's true. That's a good point.
That's where the issue is the efficiency. It's like what they say, the human brain runs at like 25 watts or so, and some AGI data center runs at like 25 gigawatts.
But Pete, since we're in the steam age, does that mean we can wear steampunk clothing and stuff like that?
If you want to, you can.
Okay.
There's never anything wrong wearing steampunk clothes.
Maybe I'll bring a monocle with me.
Leonard has something to say.
Pete, I want you to understand this. You just friggin' outed us out.
What? That your brain works at 25 watts?
It's gonna start harvesting our brains, dude. What the hell's your problem?
Yikes!
Oh. Wow.
That's my new startup idea.
We're the only things that actually learn, and we do it in incredible real time. We do it in continuous time.
Continuous learning.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Well, and it's funny.
At 25 watts.
That is something people are only starting. We've been talking about IoT Coffee Talk forever. This is only something that people are starting to learn. That large language models don't learn. They can infer. That's different from learning.
Right. They can be trained, but they can't learn. Right.
They don't, but you have to, there's an activity, massive energy, massive everything that goes into helping these things learn. They don't learn on their own.
Right.
That's
25 gigawatts versus 25 watts. I mean, that's where we're at.
It's a new thing. And, this actually could be the downfall of LLMs, because there's cheaper ways of, creating learning systems.
Way cheaper. Way cheaper.
Especially as you close the loop toward agentic AI, where these things are very specific and narrow.
Yeah.
Which is the direction everything is going.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool research happening in edge AI around continuous learning, like neuromorphic computing and spiking neural networks. There's reinforcement learning amongst different endpoints. So, and the cloud is like, not it's the least efficient place to do AI right now.
Don't tell a GPU guy that.
Wow.
No, I won't.
No, GPU guy.
I'm going to type that on LinkedIn right now. Pete Bernard said the cloud is the least efficient place to do AI. And then the men in black are going to show up at your house.
Oh yeah. You're getting.
I would challenge that, because the cloud is just someone else's computer. The reality is that the current AI technology requires an enormous amount of computational power to build the model. Once the model is built, you can infer it locally. So it's just the inefficiency of the cloud, or it's the inefficiency of the AI that we're building.
No, that's true. The cloud itself is not the issue. It's the inefficiency of the training and the
it's the technology we have.
Put a fine point on it. I love clouds. Clouds are cool. We love clouds.
Yeah, and hey,
we love clouds. We love them.
And
we love the clouds.
This is the interesting thing about all of this. Did you guys watch the Meta Connect thingy where they introduced the?
You did.
I did. By the way, I've never seen so many failed
Mark Zuckerberg
demos in 30 minutes than that event. It was incredible.
Well, I heard that, but congratulations. Finally, an event that is live and when things crash. This is what a demo should be. A demo of new technology should crash. If it doesn't crash, people are lying to you.
I need to watch the video. People. Yeah, because you're right. All the reporting they said they'd never seen, Zuck look so awkward. And he's had some really awkward moments.
That's a high bar.
That's a very, very high bar.
Is it a high bar or a low bar? No.
But it's like when the shit doesn't work and he's like, I don't know what to do. Does not compute.
I don't agree with that. When you're doing a product release and you're demonstrating a product that's going to be released in like tomorrow, your demo better freaking work. And here's the thing. Dimitri, listen. The amount of energy that these companies put into making sure these demos don't fail on stage is tremendous. And
I know I've done it. And
when you get up on stage and your demo fails and you say, well, it happens. It's like, well, yeah, tell that to the customer that is relying on
No, I mean, I agree with you when you're talking about washing machines, okay? But when you're talking about innovation or things that are on the edge, it's okay if they crash. No,
but not if they're about to ship.
Let me finish. Should they sell it at $800 and mass to market? Probably not.
This is the mentality problem. MVP, you ship stuff that is not ready, is not. Come on. These things.
I don't disagree.
Almost all. I would have to say all of the demos failed. I mean, it's ridiculous. I've never seen anything like that before.
Does anyone remember the CES, Bill Gates' keynote from 2005 CES? That was how many demos failed there, and then apparently the culprit there, because I was there in 2006 with Bill Gates at his demo when they were preparing for that, and boy, that was buttoned down. But 2005, apparently all the demos failed because all these infrared sensors and things. There were people like taking pictures in the audience, and that was like triggering like infrared sensors for all these equipment and things like that. And so there was a huge, if you go on YouTube, you can see it, but it was a disaster. Such a disaster.
You never know if you're going to be that guy on Star Trek that's wearing the red shirt when you beam down.
That's right. Bill Gates' demo person had a red shirt on.
And it's like, because I remember an older one, like it was a Windows 98 demo and the PM next to Bill, and it's blue screened and all that stuff, and it's like, have this person liquidated immediately.
Here's the
disappear into the bushes, right? Was that homeless?
Here's the other thing that you need to be cognizant of here. There's a lot of those demos for the AR glasses. The AI is supposed to be on device.
Yeah, it is.
And so if that's the case, then why do you put things on device? It's for reliability, latency, security, privacy, blah blah, all that stuff. And so I don't know. Dimitri, you're going to make a point. You should make the point. So
washing machines.
That's
what Dimitri said. Washing machines, dishwasher, laundry.
Much simpler. You don't walk around with a washing machine. And you don't try to make calls on it, right? Or at least the one that
mine. Yeah, I talk to my washing machine.
But I mean, okay, guys, don't take me wrong. I was just making that it's refreshing to see a non-polished demo on tech.
I agree.
And
take a risk.
Meta, they actually did it.
And
Apple doesn't do it.
and I'm totally with you with MVPs. Actually, as a hacker, I love MVPs because it's maximum vulnerability potential. So it's always great. But yeah, it's.
But I think savvy folks, when they do these tech demos that are more visionary, will couch it in like, okay, I'm going to run this demo. We'll see what happens, and sets expectations. And if it's a visionary,
it's always exactly,
and that's authentic and good. But I think if you're about to take credit cards for something, the demo should work.
Or you're telling people you can wear this and
but
your guide dog.
But it's the good thing on the consumer side is actually because it failed, it made people think, oh, should I really take my credit card? Because if you have a fake polished demo that gives you the illusion that everything works.
No, a fake demo and then taking credit cards is the worst. Right.
So,
I felt like a movie tie-in to this. I'm sorry I have this problem. When you said the washing machine, I remember in Apollo 13, and they're up there.
Oh, yeah.
And that scene when, it's a gym level and everybody's up there.
Grandma.
So his wife and daughter go to his, Jim's mom. She's an old lady in a home or something. And they're breaking the bad news that their spaceship's broken and whatever. And they think it's so sad and that it's going to be heartbreaking for the mom. Oh, no. She's like, if they can make a washing machine fly, my son can land it.
My Jimmy.
She was so positive. She was like not afraid at all. It's like my son is going to bring that spaceship home. I'm not worried a bit. Love that.
Pretty badass.
Love that spirit.
Yeah,
Love that spirit, that pioneering spirit. We're going to go for it, man, and we're going to find a way to make it happen. Wow.
Sorry to break the party again. That was a different America, but
the '60s, man.
That was
60s were a great time. A lot of people, younger people, don't know. Or if they see something about the 60s, they probably think it's like peace and love and all that kind of stuff and protests for Vietnam. But it was also a different... Isn't it weird how you can have two Americas at the same time?
Yeah.
Maybe we have that now. I don't know. But there's the anti-war piece and you had the rise, but at the same time, more innovation happened, more going for it happened ever,
We went to the moon and back.
Yeah.
That's since then. Who has done that since then with all their AI tech?
Apparently we did.
And then now they have like videos talking about, oh, wow, it's really hard to go to the moon.
Come on.
What?
We don't know how to get back to the moon.
We did that 50 years ago. And with like paper and pencil and abacus.
Well, going to the moon, that's the easy part. It's the coming back.
Coming back. Yeah, it's like I asked ChatGPT how to build a spaceship and program to get me to the moon.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, people are like, you're right, they had slide rules and they're writing code by hand and they freaking did it.
And they had physical twins at that time. Right?
Yeah.
Well, I had a very long debate with Michael Greaves about that. He was saying me, there's absolutely nothing to do with digital twin in the Apollo missions. And I would disagree. There was telemetry. So you had a digital representation of what's going on in space. Now, it was not the exact blah, blah thing, but because we had limited technology at that point, but there was telemetry. And there was simulation based on the telemetry.
Yeah. So, at a minimum, we certainly had IoT. It wasn't internet based and it wasn't like we think of it, but it was telemetry and sending commands to spaceships to change. It was just all proprietary, right? Probably actually much more efficient. Because remember back then, people wrote code in assembler and they could have a spaceship go to the moon and back in like maybe
4 kilobytes.
4 kilobytes.
And
Nobody today knows how to do that.
Yeah. If our listeners are interested in the subject, there's actually a fantastic YouTube resources. The guy is called Curious Mark, and he and his team have actually rebuilt a Apollo guidance computer, and they've also rebuilt the whole communication systems. So with the data flow, with the video, with the voice and everything. And it's a very interesting actually combination of good old, very high frequency analog based communication and digital. So it's, if you're a nerd in space, this is a fantastic channel. It really goes into the details. It's super.
Nerds in space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Dimitri, you're right. Because
Dimitri, are you going to volunteer?
Huh?
Dimitri, are you going to be one of the volunteers to go to Mars, on Starship?
No. But I have a long list of people I want to recommend.
Yes. I think we all have that list. By the way, related but not related is this Spaceballs 2 movie is coming out.
Oh,
No way.
It's for this holiday, but it's in production right now.
The
Yes,
Schwartz.
Spaceballs 2.
I love it.
Oh my
May the
God.
Schwartz be with you.
Maybe the Schwartz be with you. I'm so excited to hear about that. That's
Yeah,
great
that's
news.
awesome.
Scary what it's going to be, but
That's so cool. I love that. Oh
I
my
don't.
God.
I mean, it's gonna be hard to beat the first one.
what is the best sci-fi movie ever?
Oh,
I tell you mine.
you tell us.
Very Dimitri, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
That's a good one
And you know why? Do you know why it's the best one to my personal judgment?
because it's
Yeah, crap.
legit.
No sound in space.
No sound in
Oh,
space.
yeah, there we go.
I was going
Right.
to say Blade Runner is one of my faves.
Yeah, Blade Runner is a great one.
Just because
You're
I think it
right.
was one of the first ones to really show a future that was not all shiny and clean, and it was.
Yeah,
Right.
not entirely digital either, right? Because the replicants.
Yeah, it wasn't.
yeah,
It was very analog.
Yeah,
I like that show. I like that.
that's a great one.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Wasn't as much of a fan of the follow-up one.
Nah.
So I was listening to, my favorite podcasts are All In as well as Moonshots. And I think on All In, they were all talking about, some of the advances in the making video and stuff like that. And they were talking about science fiction books that they loved that were never made into a movie. And so maybe now you could upload the text of the book and say, make this into a full-length motion picture, and then you could tweak it and stuff like that to make a sci-fi movie of your favorite sci-fi book from the 50s or something.
Well, they have the Notebook LM where you can upload a white paper and turn it into a podcast, conversational podcast. So
Yeah, that's cool.
if you could do that and say make this into a movie, I always wanted to see a good movie of Stranger in a Strange Land, Heinlein.
Yeah, I love Heinlein.
It's such a crazy book.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
If someone could really do it right, that would.
I am
be,
such a fan of him. What a great writer.
Yeah, that would be a good one. But
Oh, yeah. Well, and then the other
Upload that
thing they
one.
talked about was, or there were sci-fi movies that they just did a shitty job, and I want to remake it. And then somebody jumped in and said, I want to remake Conan the Barbarian. I don't know.
It's already been remade, dude. What are you talking
I
about?
know.
I think they remade it.
Just watch CNN. I mean,
straight to video, DVD, straight to DVD. Do they still
Straight
say?
to DVD, yes.
Ah,
yes. See,
man.
young people don't know what it means when we say straight to
I
video.
don't even know what video is or DVD.
well, I don't think they know DVD either. It's streaming now.
They don't know the nightmare of that flashing 12 o'clock clock on your VHS
Having to
recorder.
rewind the tape.
Rewinding tapes. Be kind and rewind.
Rewind.
Here's rule number 1 in remakes. Don't ever remake an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Right? Because they all end up sucking. Why? Because I really think Arnold was a very, very unique
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have those one-liners delivered in that Austrian accent. Otherwise,
Remember when I said,
not pull off Total Recall. That was, and
Total Recall.
remember when I told you I'd kill you last?
That's,
Yeah, that's right. You did. I lied. Or
I mean, come on.
stick around.
I mean, yeah, stick around. That was Commando, right?
Commando had a lot of one-liners.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Can you imagine if they tried to remake Commando?
Well, Sean Connery is very famous for some of these quotes as well, and there's one you can think about in a James Bond movie that I'm not going to mention in this show, but if you know enough about James Bond movies, it's in the one with Honor Blackman. You should see what I think about.
In fact, we're going to remake James Bond movies where Dimitri is the star, where he's James Bond.
You know what? I mean, I show you something next week. I have to go now. I have to go up early, but I show you something on that topic next week.
Dressed in his tuxedo.
That was done by some friend of mine's when I was in the UK. So, anyway, I have to drop today, but guys.
All right.
All right.
Hey, thanks for
seeing you,
coming
bro.
on, man. Good seeing you.
Absolutely. When I think of the James Bond movies, and people always talk about what's the best one and who's the best James Bond, and and I've always been like, oh, Sean Connery's the best, and yet, arguably one of the best James Bond movies was Live and Let Die, and
Timothy Dalton.
it was Roger Moore.
Roger Moore.
It was Roger Moore. Live
I
and
thought
Let
he was
Die.
the spy who loved me. Was he the spy who loved me?
Oh yeah, yeah. Remember Live and Let Die? That was the whole. Remember the whole voodoo Yaphet Kotto and New Orleans.
No, I'm a big Roger Moore fan. I think.
Yeah.
You remember the beginning of that movie? They're doing the funeral, going down the street in New Orleans. And then they killed the guy, and then they put him in the coffin. That they were doing the little procession, and then they start doing the jazz. I was like. Very clever, very clever. There's some silly, ridiculous Roger Moore James Bond movies too, like Moonraker.
Moonraker.
That was super corny.
Well, remember Jaws? Remember that
Yes,
guy?
Jaws.
Guy? Richard Keel, I think his name was. He was like biting
That character
people.
was great.
Yeah, right.
Silly. But funny, silly. I liked it.
Funny, silly. You're right.
I always thought Roger Moore's holy crap look was always hilarious.
Yes.
He was that very subtle, holy, give me the hell out of here type of look.
Right.
Unique.
Yeah. We're gonna be getting some new James Bond from Amazon. Is that right? Amazon owns.
I think it was Jeff Bezos as James Bond. I think it's gonna.
You mean kind of like what they did?
I would prefer to have Jeff Bezos as Blofeld.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I want.
What happened to the Lord?
I want him petting the cat.
The white cat.
The white cat with a diamond bracelet necklace.
That's right. It says Prime on it.
Yeah.
I love it. That would be awesome.
Subtle.
Yeah.
Little subtle stuff like that. Any other cool tech news happened this week?
Oh, geez, come on, dude. Intel,
Nvidia.
Blood transfusion from
Nvidia, or
what do we think about that?
Intel, Nvidia, I don't know.
Oh my God.
Well, it reminds me of the old Microsoft Apple bailout, back in the day.
That's what everyone keeps saying. Yeah.
Bill threw Steve some money.
Yeah.
But it kind of makes sense in a certain way. Like Intel's got all this, legacy data center build out, and if there's a way, and Nvidia to kind of help them, and also basically, I don't know, acquire a bunch of that real estate, kind of makes sense.
Do you think it will lead to GPUs being built in A14 foundry, or no?
Sound like it.
I mean, because it's like, I'm like, what is the point of doing it and bailing him out? I mean, I get, on the one hand, NVIDIA GPUs don't live in a vacuum. They live in a server that's often x86
as an Intel Xeon processor.
Yeah, that's right. And so, and I'm sure that Intel would love their foundry aspirations to come true and have other people building their chips.
But the problem is I already wrote a piece on this. But the problem is NVIDIA has their own CPUs, ARM-based, right? Grace, everyone, but they also have upcoming Vera. All these are very capable, really purpose-designed CPUs that support AI supercomputing. So they're perfect for all these racks and clusters that leverage NVIDIA native stuff. And, obviously, NVIDIA is going to promote anything that's like full NVIDIA stack, even though they have they announced NVLink Fusion to kind of open things up a bit. That's not like a kumbaya thing. This is more like a land grab, right? Move, because networking is becoming so important now. Nobody gives a shit about the GPU or accelerators anymore. It's all about networking.
You heard it here, folks. Nobody gives a shit about the GPUs anymore.
I'm serious.
Except for everyone.
No, go in. Dude,
the bottleneck is moving the data around.
Go to hot chips. Also, we talked about data centers before, right? these systems are becoming so complex, and the physical aspects of it, right? Pete, you've already mentioned a lot of this stuff, right? These things, you literally have to manage them with the level of stability and reliability of a fab. It's like ridiculous. The amount of IoT that is now being introduced into these data centers is like astronomical. So whether you talk to the guys at Synopsys or Cadence or, because, they're doing all the digital twinning stuff, but Global Foundries, all they're talking about is like data center IoT, right? Which I think is going to be a big thing, because you need to basically, you have to literally digital twin these things on a constant basis. And I'm not just talking about simulation modeling. I mean, it's like the real digital twinning. You and I, we've been talking about IoT, where you're fusing the physical world with the digital model in order to do all the, management, optimization, orchestration, XYZ that you need in order to stabilize and manage in hyper real time what's going on in a data center. And think about all the millions of bits and pieces, the electrical, the thermals, the compute, the memory, it's friggin' ridiculous. And this, I think IoT is going to find its resurgence in these friggin' ridiculous data centers, man.
That was my Futurescape.
Ridiculous, huh?
My latest Futurescape. They hadn't come out yet, and so
what is?
I did 3 Futurescapes at IDC, and one of them was exactly what you said: managing the data center 100% with digital twins. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's going to happen.
And that's the crazy thing. They're still on a learning curve, because think about it, these systems and these data centers haven't been around for very long, right? So they're constantly learning. These first ones that they built out are probably really inefficient and problematic, and they
probably want to go back and rebuild them at this point, everything they learned.
Right.
Well, no, and every nanosecond counts, and every bit counts, and so moving data, even on the edge. I mean, we have partners that are introducing these systems with much more. You've heard about in-memory compute, and like, how do you get as close as you can between the memory and the compute, and eliminate the bus, like a busless architecture between memory and compute. And on the edge, that translates into milliwatts of big savings, actually watts of savings. But you scale it up to data centers, that counts too. But yeah, we're seeing things on the edge, like really cool architecture where people, because it is, more bespoke platforms out there, they can do some pretty cool architectures where there really is no bus, and the memory and view is basically the same.
Dude, and that's so spot on. Guess what? One of the biggest topics and no one talked about coming out of Hot Chips was Huawei's unified memory bus. And so this whole notion of like fabrics and heterogeneous computing, that all is just like this huge fabric, and being able to manage all these different topologies of networks up and down the stack, orchestrating like bits of, dude, it's mind-boggling stuff. And that was like one of the biggest things that everyone was curious about, and it's all networking. It's all networking. And this is
moving bits around.
Always really good at.
Well, the first design principle when you're designing a device is like you want to keep things on the chip as long as you can, right? As soon as it goes off chip, you're using power, time, it's bad. So that's where there's a lot of, now in the data center, they're trying to do that at a grand scale, right? How do we keep it flowing?
Yeah. I saw a demo that Hitachi was talking about, it was migrating a virtual machine from one place to another, and traditional ways of doing it uses a lot of bandwidth as it's trying to migrate over the network to another. And they spent a lot of time working, and now they can migrate it using the storage controllers, and it doesn't use the network at all. It was crazy. It was like lightning fast and no impact on the network at all. It just went through the controllers. It's crazy.
So they're doing a lot of like interesting offload architectures, like IPU or DPU type of constructs up and down the stack, even even down to like the friggin' the board level.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's insane. You know, I think there's a mad scramble to figure out what's the next set of technologies and architectures that are going to continue to make this, like Jensen Huang's curve, keep going up. But definitely you're hitting economic walls and also technological walls, because everyone's spending all the bullets. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, like co-packaged optics. That thing was supposed to be like 10 years out, and they brought it in like to now.
Wow.
Because there's now a use case where people will pay ridiculous money to make that solve a ridiculous problem, you know?
Yeah.
Creating ridiculous problems to solve is
Did
really...
you just create like something new? Jensen's curve?
No.
Okay.
That's
All
not...
I saw a commercial on TV about that. I think there's medication for that. Or is that different?
I think it's different, dude.
Oh my God. Just get a little Skyrizi or whatever, Invoke or something like that.
Yeah, a little Sky Rizzy, whatever. These random drug names in our heads.
That have these 4-hour commercials on, you know.
It's singing and dancing, like the whole street comes alive in song. Sky Rizzy.
Exactly.
Well, hey, you know, Lip-Bu Tan, you got hats off to him. He raised his like 16 or 17 billion dollars in a month.
So let's speculate. Let's speculate. Why in the world would Jensen do that? If he's not going to use this foundry, because you guys think he won't, is it possible that Jensen got a phone call from someone in the White House?
No, you know, it does make sense in that, you know, it's not really a formal commercial relationship, as, you know, there's no agreement that they actually seem to have talked about, right? But they've through the press conference communicated their commitment to certain things. One of them is Intel will start to leverage, Nvidia technology in their client stuff as well as their data center stuff, right? So,
maybe this deal is where Jensen says, "I'm going to give you this $5 billion, but you're going to start using my shit. It's way better than your shit.
Give me a channel to now diffuse,
and you're going to pay for it, and you're going to start integrating it into your tech." But there'll be a license fee. And so ultimately, I'm going to get that $5 billion back and then some.
And
You're welcome.
And then I'm going to own your ass.
And I'm going to own your ass. Meanwhile, but all right, does this seem anti-competitive? Or is Lisa Su waking up in a cold sweat?
Oh, yeah.
It's easy for me to say that doesn't seem fair, or is there something weird here? Because AMD is getting screwed.
It's...
You know, First, Lip-Bu Tan gets called on the carpet by Trump because I don't like you. You're Mr. China. I want you to quit right now. And then they have a powwow. Oh, I'm going to give you all this CHIPS Act money, and then I'm going to own a stake in your company. And that was the first little dagger for AMD. And now this happens, and it's like it seems not fair or anti-competitive. I don't know. Or am I stretching here?
You paint it like it's pretty unfair, and I don't think anything that you've said is inaccurate. Yeah, I mean, it is weird because, I mean, think about what's happening here is if they start to adopt NVLink, okay, not only in the data center through Fusion, but even on the device side, right, to maybe revitalize Intel's offerings in desktop where they're losing out to AMD. You're basically on the data center side ditching UA-Link. You know, and Intel is one of the key stakeholders in UA-Link, right? Which is the alternative, like sort of the quote unquote open version of it's an open response to NVLink. That's kind of nasty, right?
Yeah.
That's no bueno for UA-Link. So it takes out the support for that. probably, ultra Ethernet as well, because this is, if on the data center side, they're probably going to start supporting, Connect X and, NVIDIA's stuff, especially if they're looking at all these enterprise deployments, right? And
it's like right now, Leonard, I'm putting together my amicus brief that I'm going to send up to the Supreme Court along the lines of, out on the field of play, AMD has actually been slowly but surely kicking Intel's ass, and they're making better chips. They're number 2 in the GPU space, and they're moving away. And then all of a sudden, all this love gets sent to Intel. In the fairness, competitive capitalist world, AMD was doing what they needed to do and having success. And now they're going to be pulled back, and Intel's going to go ahead unnaturally.
Yeah. And then, quite honestly, this, back in the day, Nvidia tried to purchase ARM, right? In the hopes of maybe bringing ARM to the data center as well as PC eventually, mobile. Mobile either there, but, PC data center definitely. This is a better play for, Nvidia, because they get into PCs and laptops in particular, and that's huge. People don't think of it in terms of laptops as being a huge thing. It's friggin' huge still, right? It's just not growing astronomically, but
single billions.
Yeah.
It's not really growing at all, actually, but that's a whole other issue.
Yeah, but no doubt that
PC sales?
PC sales are single billion?
Yeah, it's single billions. It's not tens of billions.
No, dude.
For dollars? And it's not growing. It's been flat for...
No, it's growing a little bit. But it's not a billion, man. It's like
it's billions.
Or 100 and, more than 100 billion.
Well, it's 250 million a year. Okay. Pretty flat. So, I don't know, $1,000 each.
Less than that, probably.
It was declining. It got a boost during COVID, and now
there was that thing. It's a good, solid, market, but it's not really growth. It's not a growth market. PCs aren't a growth market.
No, I didn't say that it's a growth market, but it's a frontier market for Nvidia.
No, it's true. They don't have any space there. So I agree. I mean, they do sell actually a lot of chips into the higher end laptops as GPUs, but
yeah, and then they do. But this is all, AMD has AMD, Ryzen and Radeon, Intel, they've been struggling on the GPU side, right?
Yeah.
They have Iris and Arc.
We'll see. I think it's an easy hedge for Jensen to do the investment and to see where he can get some, extra, like you said, market share, whether it's the data center or other places.
I think it's more of it's a diversity play, because 89% of the revenue comes from data center right now.
I know.
And when this all collapses, because here's the thing, semiconductor industry, it's always cyclical. Anyone who sits there and says, "Oh, well, it's different this time," not really.
It's different this time. We got 5G.
Yeah, it's different this time. No, not really. I don't think Nvidia wants to be, holding that bag. So it's a smart move, diversification move. So anyway, all right. Hey, all right. So we call it?
Let's call it.
You want to take us out, Rob?
Yes, call it. I'm going to flip a coin, and I need you to call it.
Heads.
You know where I'm coming from, don't you?
No, I don't. It's too early in the morning, dude.
Let me try to look like Javier Bardem. Call it.
That's right.
No Country for Old Men?
Yeah. No, that's
I
same.
didn't watch it. Woo! I didn't watch it.
How much have you ever lost in a coin?
Exactly. Yes. Have you ever seen that movie, Leonard?
No, I haven't.
It's one of the best movies ever made, actually. The Coen brothers made it. It's one of the best movies ever made.
Is that the one where the guy gets killed with a
nail gun
bowling ball?
It's like that.
Okay.
It's like that. It might have been used for killing cattle actually on the ranch. It was like pneumatic.
Yeah, that was right. It was like
because that's how they kill the cows.
that was it. Yeah, it was a spike gun.
Okay, wonderful.
I love the backstory of them trying to hire. Yeah, on that note, call it.
Got it.
Get out of your car. Come over here. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us, insane people.
Oh yeah,
Insane in the membrane people here on IoT Coffee Talk. We got pretty technical today. Actually, we talked about data centers and chips and all kinds of stuff.
IoT?
We went medieval, I'd say.
IoT?
And IoT, I think somebody said the letters somewhere. And so that was good, so we got that going for us. We talked about AI, of course. We talked about Agua, people versus data centers, the coming battle, the data center wars, that's going to happen. People firing, rockets, shoulder mounted rockets at data centers. I want the water and electricity.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, thanks for joining. And we're celebrating Elevate Communities. It's an and to elevate our kids, not an or an instead of. It's an and we're going to do even more, and you're not going to believe it. And I know Leonard can't believe that we're going to do all this stuff. It's a lot of stuff for us to do. We're putting a lot of things on our shoulders, but we're stepping up in a big way. So anyway, looking forward to that. Make sure and join us next week at the same bat time and same bat channel. And we are out.